Welcome to the first installment of our Credit Survival Guide, an overview of credit reports and scores. What exactly do my credit reports and scores do? Credit reports and FICO scores work together as risk assessment tools. Lenders, insurers, landlords, and employers all use credit reports and/or scores to determine whether or not you are a solid investment of the company's time and resources. Lenders and insurers will likely judge you based solely on your FICO score, but landlords and employers may use your full credit report to consider other factors. But it's just a financial record, right? What information does it really contain? Credit reports are a record of your financial accounts, but there is so much more involved. A credit report has 6 major types of information. Identifying information, meaning your name, birth date, addresses, and social security number. Employment information, current and/or past employers, sometimes start and end dates, or salary information if it's available. The consumer statement. This is where you defend or explain issues you've found in your credit report. Account information. These are collections, so negative accounts, but also trade lines, so consumer-initiated trade lines, things you've applied for or opened on your own, which could be positive accounts, or negative accounts if you don't pay your bills. Public records. These include bankruptcies, tax liens, and civil judgments. And inquiries. Hard inquiries, like when you've applied for a loan and someone checks your credit report, and soft inquiries, like when you get one of those pre-approval credit card ads in the mail. Both report to your credit history, but only hard inquiries are viewable by others and affect your FICO score. What can someone really learn from all that? First and foremost, your credit report gives a person or company insight into what kind of person you are without ever having met you. Are there discrepancies between your identifying information and what you've provided? You might be hiding something. Do you have collections or late payments? You might not be very responsible or organized. Are your credit cards maxed out? You might have a habit of overextending your resources. Are there any collections or judgments from past rental properties? You may not be the ideal tenant. So you see, this financial record can indicate a great deal about your personality and situation. Then what does the FICO score do? Isn't their credit report enough? The FICO score is generally used by lenders and insurers to determine what kind of rates or terms to apply to your account if they choose to extend credit to you or insure you. Landlords also base both preliminary and financial decisions on your credit score, regardless of what your actual credit history looks like. But if I pay my bills on time, shouldn't I have a great credit score? Not necessarily. The credit bureaus weight different aspects of your credit history and behavior to determine your credit score. Approximately 35% of your credit score is based on your credit history. 30% of your credit score is based on credit usage, or your debt-to-credit ratio. 15% is based on the age of your accounts. 10% is based on the type and variety of accounts. And the last 10% is based on your inquiry history, or how often your credit report receives a hard inquiry. For example, you can pay all your bills on time, but if your balances are close to your credit limits, meaning that you have a high debt-to-credit ratio, you may still have a lower credit score than someone who does not have a high debt-to-credit ratio. So how do I get good credit history and a high credit score? There's a lot you can do to keep your credit report and score looking good, but the first step is knowing. Everyone is entitled to one free credit report per year from each credit bureau, so there's really no excuse for ignorance. But in general, you should check your reports regularly. Credit reports refresh every 30 days, which means there could be new information or erroneous information every 30 days. Fix errors quickly and thoroughly. Document any disputes. Pay bills on time. Pay all your bills on time. Credit card companies frequently review your entire credit report to determine your current status, not just your history with that one company. If you must carry a balance, keep your credit card balances low, ideally below 30% of your total available credit. Credit can make or break some of life's most important decisions, and allowing your credit history to run along unmonitored can be just as damaging as not paying your bills or racking up a bunch of debt. Thank you for watching my credit survival guide, credit and credit score survival guide. I found in this process that there was a lot more I wanted to say and could have said about the credit reporting system than I actually could within 5 minutes. So I decided to frame it as part of a series, one perhaps going on, generally a series on credit health, one going over the overview of what credit reports and scores mean. Another one would be how to read a credit report or interpret a credit report. Another might be going through the dispute process. I decided on a fully developed PowerPoint presentation with voiceover because the material is kind of detail-oriented and pretty straightforward. As much as I wanted to, say, design a silent film based on good and bad credit habits, it just wasn't a reasonable expectation, nor was it a reasonable expectation of my skills in this. In the future, I would have liked to have figured out my timing a little bit better, and some of the animations so that they flowed a little bit better with the words that I was speaking at that moment. I tried to hit the ARCS model by asking a question that someone might actually ask to get their attention, and then explaining pretty clearly what the relevance was. What I didn't have a chance in this particular installment to really get into what having good credit means, what it can do for you, and why it might build confidence or create satisfaction of going through this process. But it's, like I said, it's ideally part of a series, and it's something that I kind of started off with several years ago and went through the hard way myself. So it's also very personal to me. So thank you very much.